The hidden law of wealth no one wants to accept. They tell you wealth is about luck. They tell you it's about privilege, about being born in the right family, the right city, the right time. They tell you it's about markets, timing, or talent. But what they never tell you, what almost no one is willing to admit, is this: wealth obeys a law. A hidden law. A law that does not care about your excuses, your background, or your circumstances. It is a law as real as gravity, as unrelenting as fire, as merciless as time. And until you accept it, you will remain trapped in struggle, no matter how hard you pray, no matter how much you dream. This law is simple, yet it frightens people. It states, you will be rewarded in proportion to the value you create, the problems you solve, and the discipline with which you persist. Nothing more, nothing less. The world is not paying you for your wishes. It is not paying you for your intentions. It is paying you for the measurable, undeniable value you put into its hands. Think of Andrew Carnegie, who came to America with nothing. A boy working 12-hour shifts in a factory, covered in sweat and soot, no privilege, no power, no wealth. But Carnegie understood something most people miss. He saw that money flows like water, and it flows toward those who control resources, those who create solutions, those who multiply value. He climbed from messenger boy to steel magnate not because fate smiled on him, but because he aligned himself with the hidden law of wealth. He solved bigger problems than the average man dared to face. Most people never rise because they spend their lives avoiding problems. They complain about them. They run from them. They curse them. But here is the paradox. Wealth hides inside problems. Every fortune you admire was built by someone who embraced a problem and refused to let go until it was solved. Edison gave us light because he embraced the problem of darkness. Henry Ford gave us the automobile because he embraced the problem of slow, inefficient travel. Walt Disney gave us wonder because he embraced the problem of joyless entertainment. These men were not chasing money. They were chasing solutions. Money chased them as a result. But average minds don't want to hear this. They want shortcuts. They want hacks. They want the fantasy that wealth will come without pain, without sacrifice, without discipline. That is why this law is hidden, not because it is secret, but because people refuse to look at it. It demands too much. It strips away every excuse. It leaves you naked with one truth. Your wealth will never exceed your discipline, your clarity, and your persistence. Ask yourself, what problems are you willing to embrace? What pain are you willing to endure? Because wealth is not about what you want. It is about what you are willing to give. It is about how deeply you are willing to suffer for the solution you bring to the world. If you want small wealth, solve small problems. If you want great wealth, solve great problems. But understand, every level demands a greater version of you. This is where discipline enters. Discipline is the currency that purchases wealth. Without it, even the greatest ideas rot into dust. How many dreamers talk about their million-dollar ideas while they sit idle, doing nothing? How many talented men die with their gifts buried in the ground because they lacked the discipline to grind, to build, to persist? Talent without discipline is poverty. Vision without discipline is fantasy. Purpose without discipline is just noise. And belief is the fire that keeps you moving when the world tells you it cannot be done. Every man who built an empire was told he was insane, foolish, reckless. Edison was mocked by scientists. Disney was laughed out of banks. Ford was told no one wanted cars. Yet their belief was so strong that the laughter of the world became fuel. They believed when no one else would. That is the law. Believe, persist, discipline yourself, and the world must eventually bow. But here is the hardest truth. The law of wealth is not fair. It does not reward everyone equally. It does not care how badly you want it. It cares only how relentlessly you pursue it, how much value you create, how willing you are to pay the price. And that price will always be higher than you expect. It will cost you your comfort, your nights of easy sleep, your weekends of leisure, your friendships with the mediocre, your excuses. It will demand sacrifice. And the question that decides your future is this: will you pay it, or will you keep pretending the law does not exist? Because while the average man hides from the price, the wealthy man embraces it. While the average man curses problems, the wealthy man hunts them. While the average man waits for luck, the wealthy man creates discipline. That is why the gap exists. That is why it will always exist. Not because wealth is unfair, but because most people are unwilling to obey the law that governs it. So hear me clearly: you do not need luck. You do not need permission. You do not need to wait another year. You need only to accept the law. And once you do, once you decide to live by it, once you refuse every excuse and embrace the fire of discipline, you will find that wealth begins to flow toward you like a river finding its course. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen easily. But it will happen as surely as fire burns and as surely as gravity pulls. Wealth begins not in the hands, but in the mind. You can place a fortune in the lap of a man with a weak mind, and within years it will slip through his fingers like water. Yet give nothing but an idea, a burning desire, and a relentless will to a man with an indestructible mindset, and he will carve out empires from the very dust beneath his feet. This is why so many lottery winners end up broke, and why so many self-made titans, men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Walt Disney, rose from nothing but vision and courage to claim riches beyond imagination. The law is clear: money gravitates to the mind that knows how to multiply it. And until you accept this, you will forever chase wealth instead of commanding it. Think of Carnegie, a boy who worked in a cotton factory for pennies, but who later commanded the steel industry. Think of Ford, who was mocked and told his dream of an affordable automobile for the common man was impossible. They were not gifted money. They were not handed opportunities. What they possessed was the ability to hold a picture in their minds so vividly, so fiercely, that reality had no choice but to conform. They lived proof of the hidden law: the external reflects the internal. Your bank account is not just a number, it is a mirror. A mirror reflecting the clarity of your thoughts, the discipline of your habits, the strength of your purpose. Change the man, and the money follows. Ignore the man, and the money evaporates. But here lies the uncomfortable truth most people refuse to face: wealth requires sacrifice. To build it, you must let go of the very comforts that keep you average. You cannot cling to every distraction, every indulgence, every fleeting pleasure, and still expect to stand among giants. The world hides this law behind motivational slogans, but deep down, you know it's true. Edison didn't sleep 8 hours while he hunted for the filament that would light the world. Disney didn't wait for perfect conditions when he mortgaged his future on a mouse. Lincoln didn't quit after failing in business, in elections, in life itself. He carried the weight of every failure until it forged him into the man who would hold a nation together. Wealth is not built by avoiding pain. It is built by using pain, bending it, and forging it into fuel. And yet, so many cling to excuses. They tell themselves they'll start when the timing is right, when the economy improves, when life feels easier. But let me tell you something with absolute certainty: the economy will not save you. Luck will not save you. Time will not save you. Only your decision, made with ruthless clarity, will save you. Wealth responds to definiteness. It runs from hesitation. It thrives under the hand of a master, but withers under the grip of the uncertain. You must choose today whether you are content being average, or whether you will pay the price to be unstoppable. Discipline is the invisible thread that ties thought to reality. Without it, even the brightest vision crumbles into dust. You can dream of castles, you can imagine empires, but if you cannot command yourself to take consistent, deliberate action, those dreams rot in the cemetery of forgotten ambitions. Wealth does not come to the man who works when he feels like it. It comes to the man who works whether he feels like it or not. That is the essence of discipline: to obey the demands of your vision instead of the whims of your mood. Look at the titans of history, and you will see not just brilliance, but daily devotion. Henry Ford did not stumble upon success by accident. He worked obsessively, refining, adjusting, improving, until the Model T was not just a car, but a revolution. Thomas Edison endured 10,000 failed attempts before producing light. 10,000 times he could have quit. 10,000 times he could have justified surrender. But discipline chained him to his mission. And because of that, the world glows today. This is what most will never accept. Wealth is not built in sudden explosions of luck or inspiration. It is built brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. And every day you choose comfort over progress, you are quietly deciding against your own future. Every moment you waste in distraction, every excuse you give yourself, is a deposit into the account of regret. And regret, unlike wealth, compounds endlessly. Do you understand how powerful you become when discipline is no longer negotiable? When you no longer ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" but instead declare, "This is who I am, and this is what I do." You transform. You cross the line from ordinary into extraordinary. You move from wishing for wealth to commanding it. The marketplace rewards not talent, not intelligence, not even connections, it rewards consistency. The man who shows up again and again, long after others have given up, inevitably owns the field. But here's the hidden catch: discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. Most people think discipline shackles you. In reality, it frees you from the tyranny of laziness, fear, and distraction. The undisciplined man is a slave to every urge, every impulse, every temptation. The disciplined man is free, because he is ruled only by his vision. Wealth does not belong to the man who indulges himself. It belongs to the man who has mastered himself. You must decide if you will master your mornings or let your mornings master you. Decide if you will command your time or let time slip from your hands like sand. Decide if you will let discipline carve you into steel, or if you will stay soft, fragile, easily broken by the smallest adversity. The law is merciless but fair. Wealth bows only to those who bow to discipline.